We are live. Let's go. Hello, everyone, and happy Tuesday. A very good afternoon, I guess. So yeah, whoever listening, or morning or evening, whatever. This is a really cool episode, and I'm really excited for this. I've met Lewis at uni. We went to uni together. We have some loads of mutual friends, and you studied politics, right, Lewis? So
I studied
um,
politics. Yeah, that's right.
yeah. So I think
Yeah.
we met through like I think like we were just chatting through people who were studying within that field, politics, PPE. And I've always thought of you as like a really cool guy as well. And I know that you're also a musician, and that's why I'm like, holy shit, like like I'm also like doing music stuff, like this is like, and I haven't done an episode about it's something I've been really geeking about internally, but you've gone through some cool journeys, you've gone through some really cool stuff with music as well. And I'd love to pass it over to you, Lewis, just to do like a quick intro to yourself, like what you do, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for having me on. And hi, everybody. I hope you're having a nice, as you say, morning, afternoon, night. I don't know
Yeah.
what. But, I hope whatever it is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Idris, thanks so much for having me on. Thanks for reaching out about this. And it's always really good to chat about like creative stuff, media
Hmm.
stuff. I think a lot of people have like a passion and an interest, but
Hmm.
how to channel that is difficult sometimes. So it's cool to
Exactly.
chat about it. And
Yeah.
um, as a bit of background for me, as you said, we went to university together. I studied politics. While I was at university, I worked in politics. So I worked
Mm.
in the House of Commons for a bit when I was at uni, and then graduated, went into kind of consulting and sort of business and politics, but really wanted to do media. And I used to actually just enjoy the news, but also enjoy like YouTube as well.
Yeah.
And I started doing some like random stuff for a YouTuber, which I did maybe like 2 or 3 filming days, like behind the scenes. And that
Mm.
was inspiration to me to be like, okay, I'm seeing some people on these sets who do this stuff as a full-time job. And if they can do it, like so can I. So I left my job, and did it in pursuit of media, and then yeah, became a runner a few months later at Sky News. From there, have gone on to sort of do several different roles there. I was interview producer for a bit, so getting people on TV to talk about whatever was going on every day. And now I kind of divide myself between a few different jobs. So I do some sort of partnership work. I also do some actual media operations stuff. So recording stuff that's coming into Sky News, sort of editing like live feeds and playing them out on the actual TV feed, and also a bit of sort of sport media operations as well. So
Nice.
yeah, that's kind of where I'm at now, and that's what I'm doing, and obviously the music stuff as well.
Yeah.
Always love music. I'm sure we can dive into that, but
Yeah.
I
And
kind
and
of
and
do my
also
own stuff.
I was gonna say you launched your album EP this year as well. Congrats on that, man. I mean, how
Thank
did you
you.
feel about that? Like just getting that body of work out.
It felt very nice to like get a weight off your shoulder. I think
Yeah.
anyone who's creative, like in terms of like writing music, actually creating their own music, always feel the pressure of, if I'm going to put something out publicly, it needs to be the best thing ever. I can't feel embarrassed about this because
Absolutely.
I'm probably going to hear it, or my friends are going to hear it, or my family are going to hear it,
Yeah.
or my colleagues are going to hear it,
Yeah.
or some strangers are going to hear it. You,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
want it to be the ultimate thing.
Yeah.
Um, but I found that you can't actually improve until you start releasing stuff.
Yes.
That's the biggest thing that I've found, is
Mm.
that releasing stuff that is the best where you're at helps you get better, rather than just holding it back until you feel like it gets to that level. So I'm glad to have released it, even though some of it I feel quite self-critical about. I think you
Mm.
always are like the most critical of yourself,
For sure.
but now I feel excited to do the next thing, because now I want to, you know, show my progression and also listen to that progression and through these albums, which are captures of where you're at a particular time.
And it sounds like there's more to come, I guess. So who knows if whoever's listening, Lewis is cooking something. So let's
I'm
go.
cooking.
Awesome, man, dude. Thank you so much for that overview. Like you said, you're working like politics and then like consulting and then now like doing full-time media. How long have you been in media, and also how long have you been doing music as well? So two questions in one.
Yeah, so media, I joined Sky like 2.5 years ago now. I
Nice,
think
nice.
it's coming up to 3, I think, in May, if my memory
Exciting.
serves me right.
Yeah.
Um, which has gone really quickly, actually.
Mm,
It's kind of scary how quickly it goes. But yeah, I've been doing it for 2.5 years, and I've really enjoyed doing it since I started, and um, a lot's changed over that time, which I'm
yeah.
sure we'll get into.
Yeah.
With music, that's something that I started doing initially when I was like really young, like 10, 11, doing
Okay.
piano at school.
Yeah.
But because I was doing like formal lessons,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it was sort of something that a lot of people did at that age just to find out whether they were musical or not, I kind of wasn't really doing it off my own sort of motivation. Didn't like it at all, and I wasn't very good at it. And it was only a few years later, maybe when I was like 12, 13, that I started playing guitar. Like I asked to play guitar, I asked
Yeah.
to try and do a few lessons.
Yeah.
And that was when it properly started.
Mm.
So yeah, it's probably been about 11, 12 years since I sort of started learning. And I started gigging first when I was like 15.
Wow. Okay. That's
And yeah, been doing that since then, really.
that's really cool, dude. I love that. And I what's the word? I don't know if you heard about this Asian stereotypes, but like in Asia, like their families will just force kids to learn music at a really young age. It's always piano, and it's just like it's just like I think they're trying to make them like very high overachieving among them peers. So and so what you get out of it is just people who just did it for the sake of the family and not really out of their own volition. But
Hmm.
I think that what to your point about the motivation thing is so important, just because like
Mm.
if you genuinely yourself want to do that, then it's like it'll it wouldn't you wouldn't resent doing it, I guess. And it's like you intentionally want to like do it because you want to get better, you want to create your own art, and then you just want to see where
Yeah.
that goes. So that's really cool. But what was it about the guitar that like made you want to pick that up? Like what was that click moment for you?
So this is an insight into 12-year-old Lewis brain, which was, oh, every song has a guitar.
Yeah.
Guitar's the instrument to play because you can play any song on it. That was literally the motivation of, I'd listen to like CDs and stuff when I was a kid. We had like a CD player, and I just wanted to be able to play all the songs. And I didn't want to do anything more than that. I
Mm.
didn't have any ambition beyond my ultimate goal with guitar is to hear a song, be able to pick up my guitar and then play it. That was the ultimate like goal. Um, and obviously it then evolved into doing a lot of other things, but simple motivation like that. And I also think with like going back to what you were saying about starting out on an instrument,
Mm.
how can you practice if you don't want to do it?
Yeah,
That's what I keep thinking. You've got to want to do it.
that's true.
Otherwise, taking time out of your spare time
Hmm.
becomes a chore, and you won't practice unless you want to do it. So if you're thinking about an instrument, choose one that you think is cool, and
Yeah.
choose a goal.
Yeah.
If that's, I want to be able to play this song, or I want to be able to learn this particular piece of music. Like the same thing happened for me with saxophone, is I started that in 2020,
Okay.
sort of a lockdown thing.
Yeah.
And there was a saxophone solo and a song by the 1975, who are kind of my favorite band. And there's a song called Medicine, and there's a saxophone solo.
Yeah.
Do you
I
know
think
it?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, in the live version, there's a saxophone solo, and I remember hearing it, and I've heard it live before as well. And I thought, I want to be able to play that. I don't care about anything else. I just
Yeah.
want to be able to play that
Yeah.
solo,
Yeah.
and that motivated me to buy one, try and learn how to play it. I spectacularly failed to begin with.
But you
I couldn't
tried.
even make a noise, but I tried, and now
Yeah.
now I can do it, and
Nice.
now I sort of session doing saxophones.
Ah, okay.
As long as you've got a starting point, I think the rest can come from that. But find something that motivates you to get started in the first place and make it
Yeah.
achievable.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. Quick question, disguise. Is that you playing the saxophone?
Yes.
Okay, that's cool. I was like, I wanted to ask you about that, but then now it makes sense when you were like, yeah, you can play saxophone too. That's awesome, man. Um, with still on music, but there's so many moving parts to it, like
Mm.
songwriting or like just playing the instruments, like or performing. Like, where would you say is your first love?
Ooh, I'm not sure to be honest.
Mm,
Think I think song. I always find it like the whole process of making music is really difficult because and kind of choosing which part to do is really difficult because it's I feel like as a sort of artist there's sort of ways that you go through.
hmm
You go through a creative stage,
mm,
and that's like a really cool stage.
mm,
Um, and that's when you're writing music, and that's when the songwriting comes in, and you're just doing it by yourself, and you're not trying not to worry about recording, try not to worry about like publicity and stuff
mm,
like that. You're
mm.
just back to the basics of what sounds good and what do you like. And I feel as a songwriter, you keep revisiting certain themes or there's like for me there's like 3 or 4 or 5 different types of song that I keep revisiting, and sometimes they actually turn into like a full song,
Nice.
sometimes they stay as an idea and get
Yeah.
developed years later
Yeah.
or whatever. um and I think back to, oh, you think of some bands, it feels like, there's a quintessential like sound behind the band.
Mm, mm.
So So you can see a linear sort of progress through albums where one song has kind of taken a different form through
Yeah.
the different albums, if that makes sense.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Um, I don't, I'll make it all about the 1975 again. I feel like, you look at like Robbers when that started,
Yeah. Yeah.
and in the latest album, a song called About You feels like a continuation of that and a reimagination of that.
Interesting. Okay.
Um, and I feel like that's, when you're songwriting, that's a real like interesting process that I can relate to when it comes to coming up with a song idea and then reimagining it, changing the song, but still having that like fundamental hook at the start of the song that got you into it in the first place.
Love
I
that.
am now aware I'm going on a complete
No,
ramble
no, no,
about
no, 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 no. You're good.
songwriting,
You're good. You're
which is
good. You're good.
complete deviation from the question, but
No, 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 not at all.
um,
No, no, no. I love this insight to like how you think about this whole art process. Um, but I guess it sounds like if you were to pick one, you mentioned songwriting a lot. I guess that sounds to me like that's your usual start of the process. I guess. Because
yeah, I think so.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of like you put this like really nicely on your on Spotify where you said it's like it's your music's a deeply personal narrative, and
Mm,
it's a creative canvas where like every track reflects a slice of like your inner world, and
yeah.
it's your heart and soul. So I guess it sounds like, and even when I mean, dude, my what was it, what was I gonna say, my favorite song of yours is Carolina Tonight. It's just like I think the way that
Thank you.
you wrote, no, that for real, that the way you wrote about it, the way you also like just performed it, it was just like I don't know. I could just feel like that's like just like it's like a slice of like Lewis's life as well, but you know in a certain type of delivery. And the reason why I was asking about that is just because my process is usually like I sometimes I have like random thoughts in my head, and then I'll just put into the voice memo, and then after that, then I'll try to like put it into like a digital audio workstation, and then just try to see
Mhm.
like, how I go about it. Um, and I guess maybe because I also learned piano when I was young. So then I guess that audio discipline has been ingrained in me, I guess.
Hmm.
So it's cool how like yeah, just to see how like different creators have different like sort of like um
Yeah.
origination arc, I guess, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, I think art is like a projection, and that's what I mean kind of about a canvas is
Mm,
art is actually like a sometimes an involuntary expression of like a subconscious feeling.
mm.
That feels like a great album name or like
Oh
song
yeah.
title.
Watch out. Next
Yeah,
one.
I'm going to re-listen to this
Yeah,
podcast
yeah,
just to work remember what I said because I've already
yeah.
forgotten what I just said.
16 minutes in, basically.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Note it. I write it down.
Yeah.
Um, but it's and I'm going to try and explain that because I realized that was just a lot of words.
No, no, no.
But there is a meaning behind that. I'm not just saying words. I think when I find when I'm writing a song, I can have an intention when I start writing it. So I sit down and be like, I want to write a happy song.
Mm,
Recently I've been doing a lot of that because I feel like a lot of my old songs, I would only write songs when I was like really thoughtful or,
mm, mm.
upset about something or trying to kind of process something difficult. That was when I used to write music. And I feel like a lot of my music is quite reflective and
Mm,
not
mm.
always sad, but just
Yeah,
quite sort of pensive.
yeah,
So I'll sit down and be like, I want to write a happy song. And you can start with that basis. Like you can do that theoretically. Like you can choose chords that are more positive. You
major
can,
chords or something.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. You can make it a bit faster. You
yeah,
can be a bit more funky with like the rhythm and everything. But ultimately, you will always end up writing a song even if you don't mean it, and even if you start writing a song just full of cliches. Like there's a song I'm writing now that sort of goes like it's called Summertime Calling, and it's like, oh, what's the most stereotypical happy thing? Like a
yeah.
sunny day,
Definitely, yeah.
where everyone's just like, having a good time. But even though that sort of started from quite a shallow sort of place, once you start writing it, you will I feel like subconsciously you will end up, at least for me, it comes that you start writing lyrics that you didn't even know you had in you, or you didn't even know that you felt until you write them. Um, so you kind of, I always surprise myself of what I'm writing because not because, oh my God, it's amazing. No, not for that reason. Like for the
Mm,
reason of that expresses a feeling that I have that I haven't been able to express in any other way yet. And that's true for all my songs. And that's why like I write all this, um, sort of crazy stuff in my bio and put the heart and soul. And this next album is like I want to write an album that makes people fall in love with music all over
yeah,
again. Like that's
yeah,
the
yeah,
leading phrase.
yeah,
Um, all these phrases are simply because when I write them, I'm I'm in myself. I'm discovering what this album means when I write it as
yeah,
well.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, it's a really good way, like being creative, whether that's drawing,
mm,
taking photos,
mm,
um, singing, anything creative. By doing that, you will discover in yourself when you create something, you are actually, or part of you is wanting to shout out about something.
I love that.
Um, and in this, like, so this song I was talking about, I think for me that comes like in the chorus is it's kind of a simple line, but
Mm,
the chorus kind of is based around this song's out for you,
okay.
and it's all about the sort of gratitude I felt after the first album, where
Mm,
people would talk about the album and be positive about it, and it's
mhm,
like I want to write a song that you guys listen to and feel good about, and it's sort of like a explosion of like love and emotion
yeah,
to to people listening
yeah.
to be like,
It's like a homage back to
yeah,
your
yeah.
listeners, basically.
Yeah, it's like thank you. Like this one
Yeah,
is for you. Like
yeah.
this is
I
like
love
the
that.
uplift that I want to give you guys because this is
Yeah,
the uplift you gave me.
yeah,
And that wasn't the meaning. The meaning behind it was I don't want people to think that I'm sad and boring. I'm going to write something interesting. But from that, you
yeah,
kind of sometimes discover something. Yeah.
yeah. No, I love that. That's really cool. It's like it's just like you you have the concept, you start writing it down, and it just trickles down to like a bigger meaning, which in a way it just it happened because it was coming from you. It was coming from the heart. And now it's like, oh, okay, cool. You match. You also connected to like the wider thing about thank you guys for listening to my song. And I guess this has got me buzzing for summertime calling. I don't know. Is it gonna come in summer 2026 or?
Yeah, hopefully just before.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and get some singles out.
Nice.
And the issue before is I wanted to hold back a lot of songs
Okay.
so until I had an album finished. But
Yeah.
now I'm kind of more comfortable having a single out for 3 or 4 months, then
Yeah.
releasing another one, then
Yeah.
releasing the album like later down the
Later.
line.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
If a song's finished, I want to get it out there now. So um, hopefully in the not too long into the new year, there should be another song which is called California Bliss, and then that should be
Okay.
followed by Summertime Calling.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
everyone, pre-save that when it comes out. Okay. That is gonna be fire. I cannot wait for that. No, this is great.
Hopefully.
This has got me rethinking a lot, but like how, because it sounds we tried it previously before we started recording, but like it sounds like you're doing a lot at work, and obviously um with the reality of like 9 to 5, like sometimes it can really spill onto the yeah your whole life maybe, or like just like sometimes there's compromises that they'll be needed where, oh, okay, maybe my songwriting time may not be, I have to like forego this for to do the work, etc. So like how do you balance, or how have you been balancing um your work but also with music sessions, all that?
Big time difficult. And
Yeah.
the answer is not always balancing it well.
Yeah.
Um, if I get a fairly big break of, 3 or 4 days in a row off and I don't have other stuff to do, I will go so deep into the music stuff, but then I might neglect it for 3 or 4 weeks because
Yeah.
I'm working and there's other things in life that need to get done. Um, so it's very difficult. Like my shifts are shifts,
Mm,
so I do shift work.
mm,
The hours as well can sometimes I'm doing 12-hour days, or
mm.
I'm getting up very early in the morning, or I'm
Yeah.
finishing very late at night.
Yeah.
Every now and then I'm working overnight or something like that. So I kind of am in an environment where if I do have sort of a consistent spill of shifts, even if I have a day off in between them, either I'm so tired or I haven't been able to like do errands one day because I've been at 12 hours at work, so I had to like cram in all the errands. So I don't always get time for it, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, it's something that I want to be better at finding time for, or at least make myself do it in between everything rather than crash it all at once.
Yeah.
It's something I want to work. It's something I want to work on, and I think you just gotta learn what works for you. Because I don't think cramming like cramming creativity is the best way to do it, because you can't force yourself to be creative at one
Exactly.
time, and you can get really sick of it if you're forcing yourself to do it. um, and you stop hearing the music right, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
probably the same with photography or something. You stop seeing the picture right. When you come to something with a clear mind, like creative clear mind, you can see, I'm sure when you look at like a sort of palette of photos or something, you can see how they need to be edited, or what the vibe is that you want to get out of them. Same with an album. You know what you want something to sound like, and what you want to add to the song. But when you're just doing it because
Mm,
you want to get it done,
mm,
you can lose the
mm,
essence of the song. And
mm,
I've been so guilty of that so often. So
mm, mm.
um, it's difficult to balance these things for sure, for sure.
So it sounds like at the moment, um, it's all dependent on your work schedule, and then after that, then it's like whenever there's that pockets of like breathing space, and then that's when
Hmm.
you'll try to make the most out of that time.
Hmm.
But then you also do sessions as well. Like, are you a session saxophonist or guitarist or for bands or?
Yeah, yeah. I tried to do some session saxophone. I did a lot more of it at university, actually,
Ah, okay.
because I felt at times like amongst the student community, at least,
Mm.
I was sort of the saxophone player
Yeah,
for
yeah.
all the student bands at one point,
You know what? I
which
remember that
was
now.
amazing. Yeah, yeah. You're just like, oh, this band has got Lewis doing sax as well. Like,
Yeah,
what?
you're like everywhere.
Yeah. Oh, not this guy again.
No, no.
Um, but I was doing quite a lot of it then, and that led to opportunities because of when you're playing 2 times a week or
Mm,
something, you get seen by people, and there's like a really amazing band called Soot Sprite
mm,
who did a song called Lazy, which is out on Spotify sort of
nice.
3 years ago now. But
Yeah,
I did the saxophone on that one, which was my first kind of saxophone experience, like session saxophone experience for like a Spotify song. Um, Done some live recordings, but most recently, a couple of weeks back, I did a gig for an act called Kala, who was amazingly talented, released a new EP recently,
nice,
and got to play on stage
nice.
with her and also the support act, Alex and Ivy, who is another amazing artist. So I'm hoping that's like a kickstart back into the session
Nice.
musician world.
Nice.
Um, so got some footage from there that I can
Nice.
use to
Yeah.
share, and hopefully, you make kind of contacts, and when they're like, we need a saxophone, they're like,
Yeah.
oh, who can do it?
Yeah.
This guy,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah. So hopefully more session work, yeah, because
Love
that is
that.
fun. It
Yeah.
really is, yeah.
Love that. You, how does it feel to be performing on stage? Because you've performed as, yourself as the artist, but you have also like, on for like sessions as well. Talk me through that because like that's something that I do want to feel as well one day. And I'm hoping I can get to do it as well. But yeah, it must feel like special, doesn't it? Just like,
It does. Yeah, it does. I love it. And um, there's been times where I've felt so nervous that it's
right.
been terrible.
Yeah.
Normally because it's the first time I'm doing something. That's when I feel nervous is,
Mm,
or if I need to prove something.
mm,
So I do solo gigs
mm,
as sort of Lewis Matthew,
mm.
um, which is sort of the name of the sort of music project. Um, and I do country music gigs
Yeah.
as Lewis Matthew,
Nice.
and I do those in Chiswick, West London. There was sort of the first gig doing that was so nerve-wracking because it was an
Yeah.
hour and a half.
Yeah.
I had done quite a lot of open mics before that just to
Okay.
get some experience playing in
Yeah.
front of people again, and
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
to try and build some momentum, try and get some like footage of me performing that I could send to venues, convince them that I was real and I
Mm.
can sing, and
Yeah.
I'm not just some sort of fake random AI singer.
Yeah. There's a lot of that
So
now.
yeah, yeah, yeah. There's a lot. So I did some of that, and I just felt nervous getting on stage because I was like, this is my chance now to do like a proper gig in front of. I think it was like I can't remember how many people, but it was over 150. I don't know. It was hundreds definitely, and
So
that
cool.
was big. That was big. It's a very cool experience when you're up there though,
Mm.
in front of a crowd, because if you've done your preparation, you're just having fun. Like you're just doing what you love, and if you work hard and can play it right and can be as good as you can be, then people are going to be really receptive to that and see that. Um, and that's really fun. But probably the most nervous I've felt recently is I had a gig there, and I didn't have any more gigs booked after that. So I felt like I really had to make a statement to say, I feel like I can come and do more gigs. I want to continue doing this. This is what I love doing, and I want to prove that I can evolve as an artist by doing other songs, and I can do
Nice.
the songs that I did better, and
Yeah.
I'm worthy of more chances. And that was so nerve wracking, um, just because it felt like this is make or break. Like this is it. And I'm guilty of doing that. Is making some things like the ultimate. Whereas in hindsight, it's just a piece of the puzzle. But
Puzzle. Yeah.
um, yeah, that can add an extra element to it. But when you're up there and if it's going well, you can feel like you're in a movie sometimes when you do it. But
Love that.
yeah, it's fun. It's fun. And for session stuff,
Yeah.
that's a completely different experience because
Yeah.
for me it takes the pressure off, especially the saxophone. So when I'm singing and doing guitar as a
Mm,
solo artist,
mm,
that's so much pressure like on you as an individual to carry the entire thing,
mm,
and you've just got to remember so much, like
mm,
every word, every
mm,
chord,
mm,
every song.
mm.
And it's so much that you're sometimes I find when I'm leading something, I'm more thinking than actually experiencing.
Okay.
um
Okay. Interesting.
Whereas if you've got a smaller part, like as a sax part, saxophones aren't playing every note of every
Yeah.
song.
Just that one
um
moment or something.
Yeah, yeah. Or you're just like doing some droning, sort of like playing single notes here and there just to add a bit of
Yeah.
atmosphere to it.
Yeah.
And you can make that little bit like really good, rather than having to sort of make a lot good. You can make
Yeah.
one small part really good. So
Yeah.
you can master something and you can just appreciate being on stage
Mm,
and, feel like you're sort of more out of body because you're like experiencing the sort of band or artist performance
yeah.
along with them.
Yeah.
And that for me is, I love doing that a lot, so I want to do more of that for
Yeah.
sure.
That's big.
Yeah.
That's big. I guess 2026, I guess we're gonna see more of that coming out soon, or
I hope so. I hope
yeah,
so. I really
yeah,
hope so. Yeah.
yeah. Nice. I am really big into transferable learnings, and I am curious, like, have you had any learnings that you've experienced or applied from your day job, but also with music as well? And how have you applied to one another?
Yeah. I think in creative industries it's quite collaborative.
Mm,
It's the same with media. It's very
mm,
collaborative because you need an entire sort of body of a newsroom to produce the news.
mhm.
Um, and in a band, or not even a band, even a duo, or even as an individual with like a voice and a guitar, you need to collaborate, um, to produce a sound. So I think one of the big rules that I've really learned is that, um, I think as a session musician, when I started doing session work, I was so used to doing sort of individual sets
Mm.
that I had to learn that I was actually part of a sort of machine rather
Okay.
than
Okay.
having to like grab that machine and lead it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
saxophone, you don't need to. As a saxophonist, like it's actually better sometimes to not be at the front of the stage and to be listening to other people way more than you're sort of trying to lead it with yourself. You're
Yes.
trying to complement everyone else and make everyone else sound better. And I think in the newsroom world, I kind of learned that you've got to help everyone do their jobs better, and
Mm.
that's something that's transferable.
Yeah.
um
So the
and even
collaboration
with
aspect.
oh, definitely, like
Yeah.
collaboration is, yeah. And just being as well, like realizing that working with people, you've got to you just got to be like positive, and people
Mm.
have got to enjoy working with you.
Yeah.
And if people enjoy working with you, you're going to enjoy working with them more.
Yeah. Yeah.
um and just even in the tough moments, whether that's in a bit of music where something isn't quite sounding right,
Mm.
or
Mm.
someone's made a mistake on stage and you're trying to cover it up, just being positive,
Yeah.
can make such a difference. And it's the same in the newsroom. Like if something's gone wrong, or something needs to be done quickly, just not forgetting to keep a level of kindness and happiness and just positivity is so important. And that's something that's transferable. But even within music itself, I think the
Yeah.
most transferable thing for me was
Yeah.
like going from guitar to saxophone.
Mm.
Completely different instruments, but you can transfer like
Basics.
the the basics of just like understanding what does sound good, what doesn't sound good, when to come in, when not to come in, like
Yeah, yeah,
all these
yeah.
different things. That was a big transfer of my sort of skills. I found out the hard way learning saxophone. It was so hard to learn, but
Love that.
yeah, those are transferable things.
Do you feel like you're more creative in your work because of your background as a musician? How has that sort of like spill over to your day to day, or is it, or would you say it's really just engaging with one side of the brain all the time? I guess I'm only come as an outsider when I think about media. I just think about, oh, like cool things, production. I don't know. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but like it's just like loads of like visual and audio and all that. Um, but then I guess I'm quite curious just because, yeah, has that made a difference into media operations, etc.
Yeah, I would say when I'm working with footage,
Mm,
um, it's that works both ways.
mm,
I think some of the other like more sort of office or business work
mm,
stuff, I don't feel that same amount of transfer other than like
mm,
collaborating again, like
yeah.
working with other people.
Mm,
I feel like those are still transferable because I do work with like a lot of sort of external clients and stuff. But
mm, mm,
um, when it comes to footage, I think
mm,
I've really learned that you're telling a story with the footage that you put out there. And in news, big time you're telling a story. Like
yeah.
that's the whole point of it.
Yeah.
But also with music, you're doing the same thing. And I'm still learning now, sort of how that all comes together. But I definitely feel like a connection with what footage tells you and the different sort of ways that you can capture the same thing.
Mm,
You know,
mm,
we'll work with loads of different sort of not necessarily just angles, but different sort of different elements from the same event.
got you.
And it's the same with a music video. You can choose to shoot it from one direction or the other, or
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
subtle things, or like what facial expression you want to focus on, or what moment you want to be the moment.
Yeah.
It's the same with the news. Like,
Yeah.
what moment in this 10-second clip is the real
Real
headline
hot.
moment.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So those things I think really come together between media and doing music and stuff.
Nice, nice. In your role, like, are you? Because it sounds like you're doing loads of different things. At Sky, like, are you handling footage a lot? Are you sort of like editing them, but also are you coordinating with like various stakeholders just to get the piece of the news out? Or, yeah, I've never really met anyone in your field, so that's why I'm quite intrigued.
Yeah. So yeah, it depends what job I'm doing. If I'm so yeah, my time is divided between all these different things. So one of those things, as you rightly say, like is getting footage out.
Mm,
I work on what we kind of call the contract side of things, which is not, well, it's slightly legal, but it's not like as legal as it kind of sounds. It's more like partnership sort of coordination where you're sharing footage with the sort of world of media that
yeah.
we provide footage around the world, and we
Ah,
also receive footage around the world.
okay.
There's kind of a whole news footage agency business out there,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um, and I kind of work amongst that, and also there's sort of a degree of information sharing and communication with that you're kind of on the phone or on emails with sort of news channels and stuff around the world all
Mm,
the time.
mm,
um and then of the sort of ingest and play out side
mm,
is something else I do, and
mm.
that's ingest is recording stuff, and that's all about operationally just making sure stuff gets on the server so that the producers can kind of cut it up and get it on air. The play out side is live TV work. It's like assistant sort of director, which may be glorifying it a bit because the directors do a lot more like work. They do a lot. That's a very hard job being a TV director. Like a
Yeah,
live TV director
yeah.
is a really, really big job. Um, but the play outside of it is we're the like instant playback. So in sport, for example, I don't know if you've ever watched like Soccer Saturday or
Yeah,
anything,
yeah,
where the goal will go in and then
yeah.
2 seconds later they'll be playing that goal back.
Yes.
So it's the instant like winding back on the feed and finding the
Oh,
in point
wow.
to play it back out again. So that's why it's called play out. Um,
And you do
we
that?
do that on news. Yeah, yeah, on news. Yes, yeah. So we'll do that with, you know, let's just say the prime minister's just walked down Downing Street, or um, there's a state visit of some sort, and something's just happened, or a press conference started like 5 or 10 seconds ago. We're there telling the director, we're currently like 15 seconds behind, or you've got 15 seconds left of this, or sometimes when we're just like playing footage over someone speaking or something as well, we can be playing that. And um, yeah, so that's a like live TV job, which is, when I first started doing it, nerve wracking. Um, so nerve wracking, because you're genuinely like, if I make a mistake here, it will be on TV,
Yeah.
and
Wow.
everyone will know about it.
Yeah.
But that's something you just got to get used to, and as you get better at the job,
Yeah.
becomes easier.
Yeah. And obviously, it's testament to like your journey there, because like you've been there for almost 2.5 years, 3 years in May. That's like obviously, yeah. Clearly, you're doing something. You're killing it at your job. So
Well, thank you. That's very
kudos to
nice.
you. And I love to ask, like, in a professional setting, like what's been like your highest wins for that, if any.
Wow. I think. Oh, I think
Bit on the
there's been
spot there.
some
Sorry.
really. No, no. I think there's been a few. There's been a few. I think the most sort of amazing moments for me were when I was interview producer.
Mm,
That job was getting people onto live TV, and um, there were major events that we covered that, being able to provide footage to, or provide the sort of insight to the amount of people who are watching, which can be, countless people at the biggest times.
mm, mm.
So if you're watching TV, and someone's, people are hearing this news for the first time, and the person who's explaining it to them is someone that you've just got on TV. I think one of the most surreal moments for me was when the Slovakian prime minister got shot at in Slovakia, and that was a big like breaking news story at the time. Obviously, no one knew how bad it was going to sort of turn out. The thing with that one was that I don't think we'd had anyone from Slovakia on Sky News before, so it's not like we kind of had a database of people that we could kind of rely on. There weren't many eyewitnesses because it was in a small town. So that was one of those sort of situations where, I had to call up, like, I was going on Google Maps and looking at the shops like in the square where it happened, and calling up these like Slovakian sort of grocery stores saying, "This just happened near your store. Like, did you see it? Do you
Yeah.
know anyone who
Yeah.
saw it? Would anyone like to talk about it?"
Yeah.
And getting like WhatsApp videos from them of like what had happened, and being able to put that on television, which was like, world sort of the first people to ever see that footage. We put it onto TV to do that kind of thing. Sort of being on the like front line of telling these stories to people like as they're happening. That felt like a really, those kind of moments felt like a really big moment, and big sort of high, I think. But there's a lot of behind the scenes work as well that, I do a lot. I feel like I do a lot more behind the scenes work with the contract stuff now, and I'm proud to be able to kind of provide the international press with access to footage like almost on a daily basis. And that, seeing other channels that we work with posting like the video that they got from us
Like,
and stuff,
yes. Yeah.
and that's quite like a, oh cool, that's cool,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
um so yeah, those moments are, yeah, pretty cool.
I love that. It's like you're driving that for your company to make sure that these other partners get those access to those footage. So it's kind of like, if you weren't there, then how are they going to do it? Simply in a simplified way of saying it, right? If someone was in a position where they're working a 9 to 5, but then they're really thinking about, like, I'm really not sure how to start or what to do, but I know I want to pick up a guitar like yourself. What would you say or advise to someone?
Try it, like genuinely try it. I think for me, it was being like relentless with the search to find an opportunity.
Mm, mm,
Media, I got into by just finding the right thing at the right time. And I sort of found an Instagram story from a YouTuber called Willany,
mm.
and I sent off an email because he was looking for extras for a video.
Nice.
Sent off an email and managed to get into that. But the way that that transferred into more experience was taking the initiative to be like, I want to film a behind the scenes of this video.
Okay.
Like
Wow.
this is a unique opportunity for me to do something myself, and saying straight away to like the director of,
Yeah.
can I do this?
Yeah.
Is there a way that I can also get more experience? And I feel like if they see that you're willing to put the effort in yourself off your own back,
Mm, mm,
then they think you're worthy,
mm, mm.
ultimately, because you're putting initiative in. Um, so looking for those opportunities, which are few and far between, like I completely sympathize with people who feel like the opportunities just aren't there, but just be relentless with searching for it. When that opportunity does come, because it will, I don't know when it will, but it will come. When it does come, make sure you stand out and just do something a little bit different, or do something initiative. Don't be afraid to ask, um, follow up, and it won't always work out, but through each opportunity, you will kind of get a bit closer to where you want to be. Um,
That's strong.
and I think I think that's ultimately the way to do it. Because for me, I didn't end up working in the YouTube world. I ended up working in a news world. But because I got those steps in, it gave me the confidence. It also boosted my CV enough to say, "Oh, I've been a runner before," and news organizations, media organizations, like being a runner is the starting block, and they take runners because they have done something a bit different, or they've shown a bit more initiative. And if you can do that and have that in your CV and just
Mm,
stand out a little bit,
mm.
uh, and then you can make a difference. Don't be afraid to reach out to people, because 9 times out of 10 it might not get you an opportunity.
Sure.
That one time it does.
Yeah.
Whether that opportunity, as I say, that opportunity might not be the end sort of result, like it might not work out the way you want it to, but you will gain something from that no matter what. uh, and that's my advice for sure.
I love that. No, that's really powerful, man. And that really leads nicely to my next question, which is what does locking in look like to you and what drives you?
For me, like locking in is resilience. Whether it's a run or whether it's a like long stretch at work, or I think, I don't want to be too cliche, but when you have difficult moments,
Mm,
like if you can keep going, that's where the real progress is made. It's like I've definitely felt it, where I feel like I'm not really sure where I'm heading anymore.
mm,
um don't really feel like I'm making the progress I wanted to make.
mm,
It's, or I'm lacking a bit of motivation.
mm, mm,
If you can carry on in those moments,
mm,
that's what will get you through. Like everyone can have these spurs of
mm,
like inspiration.
mm.
And I also don't mean, by the way, like pushing
Mm.
yourself beyond your limits all the
Sure.
time. Like that's not what I mean.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I just mean not stopping.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just buying yourself the time to figure it out,
Mm,
because it is hard and you
mm.
won't figure it out
Yeah.
always. You won't
Yeah.
always know.
Yeah.
And sometimes you think you will know and then you
Mm.
won't know again.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But if you can just stick at it and just keep going,
Mm,
there's something powerful in like that self discipline. And I find, whether it's through like doing stuff in your personal life like meditation or running or fitness, or
mm,
it could be anything, like doing music, or just finding, or for me, learning how to play darts,
mm.
like the
Wow.
game darts,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
taught me so much about patience and resilience.
I love that.
Because I was like, oh, darts looks easy. You pick up and you just throw it. It's like, I can be a pro darts player. Like I love
Yeah.
darts. Yeah, I can do that. Um, I got humbled so big, I was spending hours every day and not really getting better. And to just say to myself, well, I'm gonna keep practicing every day, even though I'm like losing direction with this. And it's like really infuriating me because I'm not improving as fast as I want. Just sticking with it
Mm,
and
mm,
forcing myself to stick with it
mm.
like taught me a lot about mental resilience. And I feel like that's something that I use, that's just something that sticks with you.
Yeah,
If you can do it in something, you can
yeah.
kind of do it in anything.
That's amazing. That's amazing, man. No, what I've been taking away so far is that like you're really resilient, you're self-driven, and you back yourself in like what you want to do. And I think that's a testament, and that shows into like how you've progressed so far. So it's a testament to like how you've been, and I'm sure whoever's listening there, it's like it's all so relatable, right? It's like if you can just back yourself, you can just carry on getting the reps in, then I think you will, wherever you want to get to, whoever is listening, you will get to where you want to get to. um so no, that's powerful, man.
I also would say that like I'm not
Mm,
perfect. And
mm,
a lot of like that's it's such, it's very easy to like hear what I've said and think, oh right, he's like focused and I can be like that all the time. Like I'm not
mm,
like
mm.
focused all the time and I make mistakes, but I'm always like committed to wanting to be better.
Yeah, that's good. I'm the
As
same.
long as Yeah, as long as you have that, everyone makes mistakes and not everyone gets everything right. And yeah, I lose that motivation, and I lose that hard work, and I start slipping every now and then. But I want to get better. Like I don't want to punish myself as
Mm,
well. Like
mm,
don't get into a point where you're like, I'm not doing enough, I'm a failure.
mm.
That's like, don't do that.
Yeah, yeah,
Just
yeah,
just be like, okay, I want to be better than I currently am, or I
yeah,
want to do this better.
yeah,
Um, and as long as you've kind of got that loose guide and you're not too harsh on yourself,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you can do these things.
Yeah. Love that, man. Was there ever a time where in your life where you're like, I'm not sure if it's actually realistic for me to balance working at Sky whilst also, wanting to pursue music? How have you gone through that? Because, it seems like, you're still, managed to hold both of them tightly, and you still, have your conviction that, you still want to do music. But I'm sure there was times, and um like, yeah, how have you carried on?
Yeah, there's been particular moments,
Mm,
and I can think of not last summer but the summer before when I was very full on working at Sky and
mm,
doing a lot of hours
mm,
and
mm.
progressing there quite fast, and going in a really positive direction at work. But it was completely at the expense of doing the music, and doing other things like other creative things in my own life. And some circumstances with what I was doing at work changed,
Mm,
so I
mm,
kind of moved into another area and had to focus on doing some other work.
mm.
And I think I had a period then where I went from doing loads of work all the time to doing barely any work for a
Ah,
bit. and
okay.
and that was like that was when I rediscovered the music thing.
Mm,
That was what drove Midnight Confessions to actually happen. I suddenly found myself having free time just because of like rearrangements at work.
yeah.
And it was like it kind of came as a surprise
Mm, mm,
that I did have the time that I had. I wasn't kind of expecting that time. So
mm.
when that time did come, I was I was like, well, what do I do now? Like I've been so productive at work, and
Yeah.
yeah, I channeled all of that into the music. And that's when I rediscovered it and was like, this is actually very valuable for me to do.
Yeah.
And I had that moment of crisis of, oh, I'm now in my 20s. Like
Mm,
I'm not a teenager anymore. Like I don't have forever to actually do this music stuff. Like
mm,
I'd always felt, oh, I'm too young to like actually properly
mm,
do this as a job now anyway. or like, oh, I'm still at uni, or I'm still doing this, I'm still doing this. Whereas at that moment, it was like, if this actually took off, I could do it now, you know? So let's try and actually put some effort into it. Yeah, that made me like rediscover it completely from kind of that moment onwards.
Yeah.
I've definitely treasured it. And the work that I put in then,
Mm,
I'm now like reaping the rewards of some opportunities that exist because of that
that's
work.
amazing.
But I'm aware that like opportunities can dry up. Maybe someday I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board and like
Yeah, yeah,
really lock in on music again, and try and, really push more opportunities. But at least now, I built up a really strong like professional foundation for the first time, and
mm,
put in like full-time job effort into
yeah,
it for the first time. So
yeah.
um yeah, unexpected, but like a really good unexpected moment that helped me reevaluate what was important to me. And life has a weird way of like forcing those moments
Oh,
upon you.
100%.
Like
I don't know.
COVID was one of those as well. Like it made me reconsider like what was important in my life now. That was massive. Like for me, a complete readjustment of, oh, you're young and you're focusing way too much on work and progression, that
Mm,
you're not even enjoying being young. Like,
mm,
what are you doing? You should value spending time with your friends and your
yeah.
family more
Being present.
than, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So when you need, I don't even know if humbling is the right word, but when you need to readjust your priorities,
Mm,
life has a funny way of going,
yeah.
okay, snap,
Yeah. Yeah. No, no, no. I feel you, man. Like I've had loads of those happening just this year, and it just it came unexpectedly, but it was very helpful for a trajectory of where I would want my ideal life to be. Um,
Well, you're on a hell of a journey right now. Update us. What's the latest on your kind of job hunt, right?
yeah, yeah. So had three interviews last week. So I should be hearing um this week, I think, for that final stage if I get there, and if I do, then life continues, I guess, just new chapter in a different
Hmm.
role. So that'll be exciting. um but if for whatever reason that doesn't happen, then I'll just have to be realistic. Okay, cool. It'll be like a momentarily gap or pause and like life here. I'll move back home, but then I'll still try to like get opportunities here, and then I'll just come back. So, but yeah, so that's where it is at right now.
Do you think not knowing is the hardest part?
I think the hardest part for me is because in my head there's always a timer due to visas. So
Yeah.
it's just more of like, am I actually making use of the 24 hours each day into moving the needle, into making sure that I'm like put shooting my shot with like X company or Y company. And that initially put a lot of pressure on me, and I didn't really, to your point, enjoy the moment or like being present, just because I was just like
Mhm.
super like just focused on like just like job application, job application. It wasn't
Yes.
a good way to live, but then at the same time, I think if I didn't do that, I wouldn't have reached the stage of like final or second interviews, final interviews. So like, it was like a necessary evil, for lack of a better word. Um, I think the not knowing is also hard as well. But if I didn't have this timer thing, I think the not knowing would have been a bit more manageable.
Yes.
Um,
Yes. Yeah.
so yeah. Thanks for asking though. But yeah, it's
Yeah, it's hard when things are out of your control, right? I mean,
yeah,
that for me is the thing that I hate. So I'm very much feeling for you as you're like waiting to hear back on some
yeah.
pretty sort of life altering decisions. So,
I know.
thinking about that for you.
Yeah, but yeah, no. I fingers crossed. I'm trying to be glass half full in everything.
Hmm.
So that's all I can do. I'm coming to the end of the episode, and I like to do this quick fire round where I ask people
Okay.
five quick fire, or we might do quick six for you actually. Quick
Why?
fire questions. No pressure by the way. But first question I like to ask.
I'm terrified.
um, favorite city to visit and why?
Oh, favorite city to visit. Ooh, Ljubljana in Slovenia.
Ooh.
is my favorite city to
Okay.
visit because it is such a nice feeling for a city.
Mm.
It's beautiful,
Yeah.
but it's one of those rare cities that I visited and I just felt completely like happy, like safe and at ease just
Mm.
in the center of the city. Whereas
Mm.
most cities I feel like can be quite stimulating because there's so much going on. But there it just felt like a very sort of blissful, um, nice
Nice.
place. So I'd
I
say
love
that, yeah.
it. Favorite movie?
Um, Catch Me If You Can with Tom Hanks and
Oh,
Leo DiCaprio.
good
Um,
movie. Good movie.
Really good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think those two are just obviously incredible actors, but the whole movie just feels like it takes so many different lives that it's just fun, you know.
Yeah.
I like that movie.
Nice. Favorite food to eat or cuisine?
I eat way too much pizza, and it's pizza's the answer.
Oh, can't go
Yeah,
wrong.
I love pizza. I love pizza.
If it's Italian cuisine, always hands down pizza first, not pasta, pizza all the way.
Pizza. Yeah, yeah, pizza.
Nice. Favorite song to listen that you're listening right now or that you listen to?
Ooh, it changes so often.
Mm,
Right now,
mm.
you know what? I'm going to get my Spotify really quickly and I'm going to tell you
What
because it would be one
rap
of the ones I've listened to recently.
Spotify rap just came out. It'll show your most listens as well. Like,
Yeah, yeah. Well, the most listened for me was Guy for That by Post Malone and Luke Combs,
oh, cool.
which is sort of like a big country.
Yeah,
I feel like I listened to it a lot because I had to
yeah,
learn it from my set as well, but
yeah.
really enjoyed that one. So I tell you, the one that I'm enjoying the most right now is a song called "Come Back Down" by a band called Men I Trust,
Come
which is a
back down by
band I
Man
got
I
to
Trust.
see. Yeah, a band I got to see luckily a
Nice.
few weeks ago, maybe a month ago or so.
Yeah.
Really good song. It gives Fleetwood Mac vibes. It's really good.
Okay. Well, I'll listen to that after this. And then a special edition for you, Lewis. Favorite song of yours?
Disguise.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
I really enjoy Disguise because it's like there's a guitar solo and sax
The
solo in it, and
saxophone. Yeah.
it's just like it's just a vibe. It's like a whole world that's completely separate to anything else I do, and I really want to be able to create something like that once again. I haven't done it yet, but one day I'll create something like that again,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna do a music video for that hopefully soon.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so cool. If you need
Hopefully,
extras, like please let me know.
I
If
will.
you
I
ever
will. Yeah, yeah. I will let you
yes.
know.
Um, and then lastly, favorite quote.
This is gonna sound so so cringe.
No,
Um,
oh good.
so at my old school, the sort of motto was
Mm.
um, that it was like a Greek motto, like you know, all the schools have like Greek mottos. It was it basically meant the sorry, the reward reflects the work.
Mm. Okay,
So
that's good.
that's what it kind of meant. That's not an exact translation, but
Yeah,
that's kind of what it meant.
I love that.
And yeah, I think that's probably it.
It's like similar to the one quote that I found from a book called Cain and Abel, and there's this book
Hmm.
this quote which is kind of like the underlying theme of the book. It's like fortune favors the brave. So like as soon as I
Yeah,
heard that, it kind of made me thought about that quote.
yeah.
We're at the end of a really great conversation. I mean, thank you so much, Lewis, for just sharing your story and just like really just walking us through about your journey and where how things have been going. And obviously I'm gonna put all your links on all my social channels so, like you because like, this is gonna go on YouTube as well but also on Spotify etc. So yeah, so of course Lewis Matthew, right? Your account. That's the account.
Yeah, Lewis
Oh,
Matthew is the music stuff.
cool.
Yes. And thank you so much for having me on. It's been great
No,
fun. And thanks so much for listening as well.
for sure.
If you've made it to this stage, you're a
Yeah.
legend. I hope that you're not sat there like rolling your eyes at all this
No, no, no.
cliche stuff that I'm dropping at you. But
Yeah.
yeah, I hope you enjoyed listening.
No, awesome, man. And I guess what's next for you, Lewis? Like what should people look out for?
Music stuff in the next in the new year will be what's next for me. You know, a new album, a couple like a country track, but also some more like pop heavy stuff,
Okay.
and a music video. maybe the music video will be first for Disguise, and
Okay. No
so
way.
look out for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. Um, exciting stuff, man. Well, guys, thank you so much if you made it this far again, and just a huge thank you to Lewis. Huge thank you to everyone. Hope this has light up a fire in some way. To just their freaking start. God bless, and I'll see you next time. Bye.